Welcome back to Hardball and the Politics Fix. Tonight, our roundtable, MSNBC political analyst Michelle Bernard, James Carroll of the Louisville Courier-Journal, one of the great newspapers of the country, and MSNBC senior campaign correspondent Tucker Carlson. Tucker, you start. It seems to me that a moment has occurred in this campaign that hadn't occurred before. A sense of completion, that it's time for the two parties to go at each other. Both parties now have their nominee.
Right. I mean, that is absolutely the consensus. Everybody in Washington thinks that. I think many people in the Democratic Party think that. Hillary Clinton's campaign is beginning to argue, and I spoke to someone from it earlier today, that she's going to wind up with the majority of the popular vote, and that matters. Now, what she's going to do with that is another question. I think even in the campaign, they have internally conceded they're going to lose, but I think she's going to keep running. And moreover, think about what the results as expected tomorrow mean. If she wins Kentucky, and it looks like she's going to, why are people voting for someone they know is going to lose? That's a significant act that is occurring there. And I think they're reading that as weakness on the Obama camp side. They're probably right, and they're going to parlay that into something God knows what.
Well, here's Hillary Clinton speaking for herself today.
And I'll tell you where this race stands right now, because I want you to tell your friends and neighbors, because I want you to encourage everybody to come out and vote. Right now, I am leading in the popular vote. More people have voted for me. And the states that I have won are states a Democrat has to win if we're going to be elected in the fall.
Well, that's the argument, Michelle. First of all, just to be fair, her definition of states where she got the votes, she's technically accurate, however, not official, because she won in Michigan, for example, where there was no other name on the ballot but hers. She won in Florida handily, in a state where they were all told not to compete in, or not to campaign in. So, but by definition, the way she draws it, yes. What does she do with that information?
She's a good lawyer. Every lawyer, your first year of law school, you learn how to make an argument from both sides of the aisle, whether the argument passes the sniff test or not. This clearly doesn't pass the sniff test. I think it's all about symbolism. She gave a very important speech last week, and I sort of had an aha moment, where she talked about a woman that she met in a hospice center and really hanging in there and fighting until the end. And I think that this is what Hillary Clinton is doing in her campaign. It is for women. I don't know if the argument is to say, I'm not going to get it, and it's because they're picking on me because I'm a woman, or whether she's just saying, I'm a fighter, I'm going to hang in there till the end, I'm not going to give up, and she will gracefully bow out after Barack Obama is formally nominated.
If you're going to get into this wine game, why doesn't Barack Obama complain that some white people won't vote for him because he's black?
Well, because he's above it. I mean, really, he can't make that argument. If he does that, people are less willing to accept it from an African American, I believe, than hearing that argument from a woman.
A lot of people don't vote for somebody because they don't like them, Jim. That's another reason why people don't vote for somebody. They don't like them.
Sure. And, your first question about, she's going to win, all the polls are showing she's probably going to win Kentucky tomorrow. Obama didn't really compete there. I mean, yes, he's got offices open.
Well, how do you answer the question, why do these people in these states, now maybe it's ethnic or racial voting, in some smaller percentage of the case. I'm going to assume it has some role, but I don't know how big a role. They're voting for a person they know is going to lose.
Well,
is it a protest vote?
It may be a protest vote. I mean, it'll be fascinating to watch the exit polling tomorrow. Hopefully we'll ask a question something like that to say, why are you doing this? It's over. I mean, everybody says it's over, and of course she's blaming the media for us for saying it, but I mean, the numbers are the numbers. Back to the point about the popular vote, it's a great academic question, or a great academic footnote to the 2008 campaign, but the Democratic rules are not about the popular vote. It didn't do Al Gore
any good, did it, back in 2000? In fact, tomorrow there's this we're going to get back to this. What happens if tomorrow night, what the Barack people say could happen, he'll end up with the most elected delegates. He'll have a majority of them. There'll be no way he can lose. It'll be like in one of those fighting for a division championship where you've locked it in. You've won it. We'll be right back. What happens then? Do you tell African Americans, get out of here? There's something called super delegates. You never heard of them before. But now that you guys won one, I'm going to tell you about them. We'll be right back with the Roundtable for more of the Politics Fix. You're watching Hardball, only on MSNBC.
Today's mission, brainstorm ways to raid the bird feeder. How? Post-it, self-stick, easel.
For more of the Politics Fix, I want to go to Tucker for what might be the Kentucky Derby tomorrow night. If tomorrow night, the Barack people announced it on their tote board, and Tim Russert and Chuck Todd and everyone else comes out objectively and points out that now we've reached an end of part of this process. The elected delegates, they're called the pledge delegates, have now given a majority of their support to Barack Obama. Henceforth, nothing can happen, really, to stop him from winning the most elected delegates. The only thing that can give this now to Hillary Clinton or someone else is a decision by the unelected delegates, the superdelegates.
Right.
Does that create a problem for Hillary Clinton to say, I'm still in the race?
Well, we're already there. I mean, we all know where this is headed, and it's headed exactly where you described. Their thinking is this. There's nothing that she loses by staying in the race. She gets to act tough and dignified, and that helps her no matter what she wants to do from here on out. And two, Obama is really, really new. I mean, let's get some perspective. I mean, when you started this show practically tonight, he was in the Illinois State Legislature. You don't know what we're going to learn about him, what could happen. Acts of God take place, and they're essentially running an act of God campaign at this point,
right,
hoping that something bad happens to his
Spring
campaign.
those elected delegates even, that they'll switch even if something
That's right,
horrendous happens.
exactly.
So
That's
she
right.
stays in it how long based on that theory?
Well, why not? Yeah, why not till South Dakota till June 3rd?
Okay,
I mean,
3 months of opportunity.
Doesn't hurt her.
Jim, 3 months of opportunity for something to go hellaciously wrong for Barack Obama, and she's sitting there as the default.
I think that's a bad strategy. You know, other campaigns have been built on pretty thin gruel like that, and
well, take the vice presidential nomination and hope that sometime between now and November something goes wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to go near that.
Hillary Clinton's going to become the Ron Paul of the Democratic Party. There is no way the superdelegates can take this away from Barack Obama. There will be race riots in the street if he wins enough superdelegates.
Michelle Bernard, ladies and gentlemen, get that quote on YouTube. You just saw a wonderful way of describing things. Thank you, Michelle Bernard, James Carroll, Tucker Carlson. Join us again tomorrow night at 5 Eastern for more Hardball, and then at 6 throughout the night. Keith Oberman and I, and these are fun nights, complete coverage of the Kentucky and Oregon primaries throughout the night. Kentucky probably first, then Oregon later in the evening. MSNBC will be live through the night, into the night. I love that, with results and analysis. Right now it's time for Race for the White House with David Gregory.